Miss Supranational 2019. It has taken me so long to finally film this video. It's honestly kind of embarrassing how long it's taken me. If you've been here for a while, you know that I have a bit of a history with Miss Supranational. I represented Canada at Miss Supranational 2015. And you know, I didn't have the best experience. I did place as first runner-up, which was really exciting and made me very proud. But in terms of the actual experience itself, it definitely wasn't my best pageant experience. And then I went to Miss Universe almost 2 years later, and the experience at Miss Universe, I mean, you can't even compare the two competitions. And you know what, it's a whole different field, it's a whole different pageant, right? So I mean, there's only so much you can compare them, but of course I've had each experience, so I can't help but compare them to each other. Overall, Miss Supranational reminds me a bit more of Miss Grand International, where it's a little bit more like sexy. It's about, I guess, I don't want to say the glam, because the glam is part of every pageant to an extent, but they don't show as many videos about the girls, like when they're called into the top 10, the top 5. There's no videos showing more of like the personality of the girls and stuff like that, like you see at Miss Universe, which I personally really love. But I still think it was a pretty good production. The girls all looked amazing. There was actually better camera angles and stuff, I felt like, than normally at Miss Supranational. I felt like they got a little bit more of like the suspense and stuff, and I love that they had the actual top 5. So they called the top 5 and they announced 4th, 3rd, 2nd, first runner-up, and a winner. When we competed in 2015, there was a top 10, and then from the top 10 they called out the 4th runner-up, 3rd, 2nd, first runner-up, which was me, and then there were still a few girls standing: Malaysia, Australia, Paraguay, and was there anyone else standing? There had to have been 2 other girls standing. They just called Paraguay as the winner. So there was no like 2 girls standing at the end, which I just think is the most exciting part of any pageant. So anyways, let's get into it. As always with Miss Supranational, I hate to say it because, you know, I'm being really critical, but I can't help but be critical because that's part of why I'm making this video, is to critique. And also I just, you know, I have a bad taste in my mouth from Miss Supranational. If you want to watch my video called Miss Supranational An Epic Fail, I'll link it below and you guys can watch it if you haven't seen it already. But the music, I don't know, it's kind of, there was a couple times it's a little cringy. And what drives me nuts at any pageant is when the girls are like blowing kisses and doing this thing, the like, it just cheapens the pageant for me, and it makes it more like they're trying to be the Victoria's Secret fashion show, and it's, to me, fitting the stereotype of what people think pageants are. I'm not as much about that life. Some of my personal favorites going into the competition were Philippines, Peru, Indonesia, and Thailand. I loved those girls. Of course, there were so many other amazing girls as well, but those were the standout girls that I saw in like all of the content being shared before the actual final. In the top 25, we had New Zealand, Singapore, Ireland, Mexico, Trinidad and Tobago, Poland, Guatemala, Argentina, Puerto Rico, India, Dominican Republic, Philippines, Cameroon, Netherlands, Iceland. Of this group, I thought the standouts who didn't make it into the top 10 was Philippines. Was that it? I feel like there was somebody else. But those 2 girls I thought were absolute standouts. I loved Philippines because I felt like she was one of the strongest speakers. Any interview I saw of her, I felt like she was a very strong speaker. She wasn't afraid to use her voice. So I was really disappointed to not see her advance into the top 10. Into the top 10, we then had, these are the girls who made it into the top 10, who obviously also made it into the top 25. Panama, Vietnam, Colombia, USA, Venezuela, Peru, Indonesia, Namibia, and Thailand. So these girls were in the top 10. One of my pet peeves with Miss Supranational is how they have the girls coming 2 at a time and then they like cross each other, 2 at a time, cross each other. And like when they did the swimsuit thing where they announced 12 of the top 25 and then they did part of the swimsuit portion and then they announced the other 13, and then they announced the rest. Like, it just is all over the place in my opinion. I don't know what you guys think, but I just feel like we're not able to highlight the women the way they deserve to be highlighted. So in saying that, I'm just gonna get right to the top 5 and the top 5 question and answer, because I feel like that's the only moment that we really got to see the women shine, like just them, focusing on their personality for the like 30 seconds or whatever it was that they had to answer. So in the top 5 we had Thailand, Indonesia, Namibia, Peru, and Venezuela. But in terms of the Q&A, I thought Peru was incredible. I thought she nailed it. Like, I thought when she was answering, I was like, she's gonna win. Absolutely, she's gonna win. How could she not win? I thought she gave an amazing performance. I thought she was inspiring. I thought her words came from the heart. They were genuine. So I thought she was going to be the winner. Then Namibia went, and she started strong, and then it really kind of started to like falter off, and then she kind of giggled, and she just totally lost her train of thought altogether. Venezuela, she started in Spanish and then continued in English, and she was trying to like verify with the host of what she was saying, so it was a little bit like it wasn't the greatest. Indonesia, again, she started strong and then it didn't finish as strong. It was a little bit like saying important words but not necessarily like coming together in a way that like made sense and was an amazing, inspiring answer. It was okay. Then Thailand. I thought this was a good answer as well. I didn't think it was as strong of an answer as Peru, although I felt like the overall performance of Thailand was maybe a bit stronger than Peru. I felt like she walked with a little bit more confidence, a little bit more like I'm the next Miss Supranational, like I am the queen, crown me now kind of attitude. And then the results were 4th runner-up Venezuela, 3rd runner-up Peru. I think I was shocked. I feel like everyone in the world was probably shocked. She seemed shocked. Then 2nd runner-up was Indonesia, 1st runner-up Namibia, and the winner was Miss Thailand. I was honestly surprised at the final results in terms of the placement. I felt like Namibia should have maybe been like 4th, 3rd runner-up. I know her overall performance was pretty good, but I still felt like for sure Peru outperformed her. But honestly, at Miss Supranational, you just don't really know like what is going on or what they're looking for or what the heck. But in saying that, I feel like Thailand has been a beautiful winner. When I saw her with the crown, when I've seen her since, I think that she is an amazing Miss Supranational. So I did feel like she was a deserving winner. I'm gonna say my overall favorite performances were Thailand, Indonesia, and Peru. I really loved Indonesia in evening gown. I feel like she walked with such confidence. There's something endearing about her. She has this unique natural beauty that I love, and I honestly think she'd be amazing at Miss Universe. I don't think that she can now represent Indonesia at Miss Universe, like once she has now competed at Miss Supranational. I don't know if any of you guys know if she'd be able to compete again and then try to go to Miss Universe. I think she'd be amazing though. My favorite evening gown, I would have to say, was Peru's. I did like Indonesia's, the top of her gown, but I didn't necessarily like the mid part of it. Namibia's gown was actually quite beautiful as well. It was quite unique. But yeah, honestly, I don't really have like a lot of commentary overall, just because I feel like it's just such a, I don't know, like I feel like the pageant could be so much better if they just went to a top 20, and then in the top 10 if they showed a little bit more of the girls' personality and let the girls walk one at a time to some extent, like to some extent that we can focus on one girl at a time. I almost didn't want to make this video because I didn't want to sound so critical. I guess my camera card is full, and so I guess that's all I'm going to officially be saying about Miss Supranational 2019. So if you enjoyed this video or not, I don't really know. Let me know your comments below, and if you want to see more from me, you can always subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.